Instead of trying to change the white man in your mind, make you accept us, we change the mind of the black man and make him accept himself. And as soon as he accepts himself, he'll solve his own problem. He won't be trying to force himself into your factory and into your bedroom and into your kitchen.
With no education, you have neo-colonialism instead of colonialism, like you got in Africa 9, like you got in Haiti. So what we're talking about is there has to be educational program. That's very important. As a matter of fact, it's so important for us that a person has to go through 6 weeks of our political education before he can consider himself a member of the party, able to even run down ideology for the party. Why? Because if they don't have an education, then they're nowhere. You dig what I'm saying? They're nowhere because they don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. You might get people caught up in the emotionless movement. You understand me? You might get them caught up in because they're poor and they want something. And then if they're not educated, they want more. And before you know it, they'll be capitalist. And before you know it, we have Negro imperialists.
Peace and Black Power family. It's your Harlem educator, author, and activist, the Black Liberation Coach, Brother Ajay Taimba. I just want to take a few moments to welcome you to Harlem Liberation School's YouTube channel. Harlem Liberation School was started in 2016 by myself and my queen. And we basically saw that there was a lack of foundational black political education going on in Harlem. We're not going to get up from under white supremacy without knowing how oppression works, how it affects and impacts in our community, the ways in which we internalize our own oppression and engage in self-defeating behavior and thinking, and our socio-political movements and our very important individuals and organizations throughout our history who played a leading role in fighting against and resisting and disrupting white supremacy. So Harlem Liberation School was founded as a black political education center for adults. Because education is not just relegated to children. Adults need education. It's those of us adults who maybe when we were kids did not get that foundational Africana studies, black political education, the things we need to know to be free and to fight effectively for our liberation. And so that's what we're here to do. We hope that you will come through, check us out, look at our videos, like them, comment on them, and share them. Peace and Black Power.
Peace and Black Power families, Brother Ajay Taimba from Harlem Liberation School, where we teach black people how to wake up, clean up, and stand up. Hope you're having a wonderful day, a peaceful day, and a productive day. Family, today we are talking about some back-to-school tips. So for those of you who don't know, I am kind of a lifelong educator. I've been in the classroom for a long time. Started in 1997, worked with two brilliant teachers to start a new middle school in the Bronx, maybe 23 years ago, called Knowledge and Power Preparatory Academy. So I have a lot of experience, if you will, with teaching in the classroom management, doing lesson plans, engaging with parents and other teachers and things of that nature. And I'd like to share a few things with you. Obviously, there'll always be things that I can add to the list, but these will be a few basic things. Because right now, for most of us in the United States, we're entering most likely, this would be the second week of school, right? So we are going to be discussing some back to school tips. If you have any questions or comments, please include them and I will try my best to get to them and to answer them. Just want to remind you, if you have not already, please subscribe to our Harlem Liberation School YouTube channel. We're growing steadily and we need to grow even more, family. We want to reach more Africans, new Africans all over the world. That's the mission with this black political education. The first thing I would say, family, as a general tip in terms of back to school with your kid, make sure that you have the school's accurate information. Because sometimes what the website shows as their phone number or email or hours of operation even are different from what those things actually are. So when you go on the website, you see all the information, call the school, visit the school, make sure you have their correct phone number, their correct email, and the correct website. You'll be surprised how many times the two do not coincide. So a parent is calling and not getting through, or they have the right number but the wrong extension to reach the person they want. So make sure that information is accurate. Do your due diligence. And now let's invert that. At the same time, make sure that the school has your accurate information. A lot of times the school is trying to reach parents, and the parent, they got an old number, it's out of out of service. The parent moved and didn't give them the updated address, so all the mail is being returned, right? And sometimes they got to call you about some serious matters. So make sure that the school has your accurate information. And I want to add, this includes what we call in New York City. I don't know how they do it in other parts of the country. This includes the information on your blue cards. Blue cards are also known as the emergency cards. These are the cards people pull out when you're not coming to pick up your child, but someone else is. On that card, you're designating other people that can come pick up your child. Now, I can tell you personally, because I've witnessed this several times as a teacher, where somebody's coming in to pick up the child. This is a mother or father, right? And they're saying, oh, yeah, I have permission to pick up the child. They come with me today. And you look on the card and you verify that is, in fact, the person, you let the child go with them. But the custodial parent of that kid may have broken up with that parent, or they may have problems, or they may have an order of protection against that parent, but they did not change the information on their blue card. So the person at the main desk is following orders. The blue card says they can go with this person, but you didn't change the information. So you have to make sure your blue card information is up to date. You don't know how many issues legally that has caused. And in some cases throughout this country, children have been hurt. Children have been abducted because on the blue card, they gave permission to this person to take them. And that person is no longer valid in your or that child's life. Make sure that the school has your accurate information. Very important. Don't learn the hard way. All right. You want to, hold on. Okay. You want to get the phone number and email address of the parent coordinator at your child's school. Now, I understand that much of the information I'm giving is relative to those of you who have children in the public school system in the United States. Most children in public school in the schools, they have a parent coordinator position. If you go to a private school, they may not have that position, but there is usually somebody in charge of kind of being a liaison between the principal, the staff, and the parents, right? So make sure you get that person's name, their phone number, their email address. Why? Because they have the school calendars. They're privy to all the workshops coming up for parents. They're privy to all the days the school is closed, all of those discussions. You would call them if you have complaints. And they're the ones usually who would help to organize the parent-teacher or parent association meetings. So make sure that you have their information. This is very important. Usually when you think of a syllabus, you think of a college class, but more and more teachers and schools today are trying to, in their effort to make their schools college preparatory, they are using some of the vernacular, the language, and some of the tactics of a college. So when you go to college, you're going to get a syllabus for every class. Well, now you'll find that your child may be getting a syllabus in 5th or 6th or 7th grade. And this is important, therefore, that you have a copy of your child's syllabus in every class that they have. Why? Because this syllabus will typically contain the supplies they need for this class and that the school is not providing. You'll be surprised how many kids come to school every day and don't have a notebook or pen or pencil. And they're looking at the teacher saying, okay, write in your notebook, turn around, this person doesn't have anything, right? Make sure that your kid has the supplies they need. If people can't afford them, many times schools have a collection of supplies. If you go to the school, they will certainly, if they have them, they will certainly make notebooks and pencils and pens available to you. But your syllabus in each class will specify what things you need. They will specify the grading system, what percentage is participation, what percentage is tests and quizzes, what percentage is homework, things of that matter. Also, they will discuss all the topics covered. So if I was teaching your child 7th grade, it would still say stuff like British colonization of America all the way up to the Civil War. I may break those different things down. This is what we're discussing in this semester, right? Very important that you know that so that you have a clear idea of what your child needs and needs to do for each class, and there is no confusion. And by the way, this also has the teacher's number, phone number, and email. So you should be able to contact the teacher. Now, remember, teachers are human beings too with families and things they got to do. So when they come home, they're going to give you probably a window of time to call them. And then they'll say, after 9 or 10, I can't be reached. They got to, relax and do whatever they're going to do in preparation for the next day. So get the syllabus in every class. Very important. You also, with the emergence of the internet and every school, most schools having some type of online presence or website, usually they post your child's homework by class and by grade. I would suggest you find out where your child's homework assignments are posted, right? Publicly. And if they do not post them publicly, then you must create a system of communication with someone in that school where you can find out what your child's homework is. And I'm going to really say this because I know we have some parents who are the not my child type, right? So, well, my child would never lie. My child would always tell me the truth, no matter what. My child would never say they don't have homework when they do. Maybe your child is exceptional. Who knows? But I happen to know as a teacher and a parent, children are children. And if they can get away sometimes and not do something, they will sometimes do that. Doesn't make your child bad. Just reminds you that they're a child doing what children do. So always verify for yourself. Don't just go by what the kids tell you. Oh, no, we don't have homework. And days going by, they never have homework. You're supposed to now verify that if they have homework or not. Don't leave that to your child. That's not what a child's job is. That's a parent's job to verify the actual factuals, right? Because what'll happen if you don't do that, they'll get way behind in homeworks and then they'll be trying to catch up. And now your child's fate is at a teacher's discretion. A teacher could be really nice and say, I'm going to let you catch up. Or a teacher could say, hey, you had the syllabus, you had the policy, you gotta eat that one, homie. So get it out of the teacher's discretion. Make sure that your child is doing what they need to do. And if they're not, definitely discipline them in a positive way so they can get the work done. You also want to get most schools have a school calendar. Now, they have the school calendar for the year that's posted on their website, or on the Board of Ed in your city will even have. If they're going by a regular public school schedule, it'll be posted with your Board of Ed's website. But they also have a monthly calendar that they kind of create on like a Microsoft Word on colorful paper, and they give out to students in their backpacks to give to you. Make sure you have that calendar, but don't be like your kid, because you know what your kid does with calendars and stuffed letters? They keep it in their bag for like 13 years. Don't be like your kid. Take that calendar, post it somewhere conspicuous. This means somewhere everyone will see it. A good place would be a refrigerator where everybody's going to go to every day. Some place that someone can see it. It will remind your child and it will remind you. Your child, remember, your child is a child. So they're going to often be a little more careless than hopefully you would be. They're going to go out the door and forget the checklist of stuff they're supposed to bring. They're going to leave all types of stuff they need. You're supposed to make sure that you back your child up. Looking at the calendar, and you're supposed to teach them to look at the calendar before they head out the door. Or if you have a checklist you develop with your child, that's another thing I want to say. Develop a checklist of things your child should take when they leave the door, before they go out the door. This is not babying them, it's getting them to an adult habit. Adults should do the same thing. It's just called organization. Make sure they have everything they need. They do this after years. They'll get to a point where they do this automatically. You won't have to do the checklist anymore. But while they're younger, this is a good habit to instill in them. I'm being a little premature because we're going to come up to the good habits section in about 1 minute, but I just had to say that. Get that school calendar, put it in a conspicuous place every month. Now, this is going to speak to I'm introducing the good habits. This is very important. This is something I think about often in a leadership mode. And that is, remember, the things that we praise, celebrate, and reward are the things our children will value and prioritize. So if you at the family cookout every hey Shaquana, do that chicken noodle soup, do that twerk. And they oh, that's so good. Oh my God, she twerks so good. and that's what you give praise and reward, and you pump that up. Your child's getting a message that is important. It's important because when he or she does this, the family goes berserk. They clapping and they hugging her and they say, "Oh, we proud, we love you," and that's great. But just remember, be very intentional about the messages you give, and give thought to when you're rewarding, praising, and celebrating. What is it you're rewarding, praising, and celebrating? And is that going to push them towards what it is they and you want to achieve? It's very important. Very important, fam. I can't tell you. Children sometimes do what we say, but they often do what we do. They pick up messages, right? So if, on the other hand, at the little family cookouts and all that, you're like, "Yo, I heard you won that oratorical contest. Let me hear that excerpt of the speech you did on Malcolm X in front of everybody in the family." And you break it down, and he's like, right? He's like, by any means, I say, "Oh my God, Shaquan, that was so hot. That was beautiful." Yeah, see, you're sending another message. Now, you could actually send a message that both are important, but be very careful what you're celebrating, supporting, and rewarding. Trust me on that. It will create a culture that will be hard. If it's negative, it'll be very hard to get rid of it once it's settled in. Very difficult. In terms of habits you want to develop, if possible, because people's home and apartments are laid out differently, but if possible, have your child do homework at a table, in a chair, with good lighting. And this is important, where anyone in the home can see them. Not within the room with the door closed, not in some secret chamber, right out in the open. So you're going to get your milk, cereal, whatever, you see them. They know that as people go through the home, they're going to see them. Not so you spy on them so that they know at any point we need to come check, see what you're doing. If you need help, right, keep you on task. Very important, because your child is a child. Don't forget that. People forget that all the time and think they're adults. And that's the biggest mistake any parent can make. Good habit. Teach your child to turn off their phones, their tablets, their televisions, and any of that type of stuff during their study time. Now, they're going to probably say, "Oh, no, but I need the phone for this and that." But all right, so you can maybe sit with them or monitor that. But don't get them into this habit of having distractions around them when they're trying to take care of serious business. And I want to remind you, these habits, once they become calcified, like they become part of a person, they go with you everywhere you go. So when they leave your house and they go to college, or they go to a job, or they go to a relationship, or they go to an organization, they bring those piss poor habits with them, or they bring those good, strong, foundational habits with them. And it's very hard. I'm going to repeat this, because I know some of y'all think I'm just talking. I don't know what I'm talking about, but trust me, if you don't do this early and you don't do it consistently, they'll be 50 years old and you'll still be telling them, "Wash your hands before you eat dinner. Turn the light off when you're not in the room," because it becomes a culture. We want to create, as Frederick Douglass said, it's much easier to raise a good child than it is to repair a broken man. And that's what we're talking about here. Please get them to understand that all those things are distractions. Phones, tablets, televisions have their time and place, but they are not to be taking up time when you're doing serious work. Turn all that off. And if you have the type of child that, and most of us do, that is it's difficult for them to do that, then you take their phone. That's all. It's your house and they're your child, right? Okay. Now, to be fair, human beings do better work when they have breaks. Nobody just works all through a day. Even we adults have lunch breaks or whatever. So try to create reasonable times where your child can have a steady break. They could take a half an hour here. They could get all little calls in, because they itching to call and get on the phone, right? Or whatever they got to do. I think that's fair for them, because your home should not be a prison. I don't mean to imply it should be either. But so you do need breaks. You're going to treat them as human beings, not animals, right? Okay. I would say teach your child to study this is a biggie. This is college level. This is preparing them for college and graduate school if they go that track. Teach your child to study every weeknight, whether they have homework or not. Most kids are conditioned, and parents are conditioned to believe the only time they're supposed to look at that social studies book is when they got social studies homework or they got a social studies quiz or test the next day. Wrong. The best students keep that information in the forefront of their minds. How do they do it? They review every subject every night, whether they have homework or not. They may take 20 minutes, half an hour. They'll go over the notes, the last set of notes they took for science or ELA or social studies or math. They'll review it. They may review a few homework problems. This keeps it fresh in their mind. This is very important so that if their teacher gives them a surprise test the next day, they're not surprised because they're reviewing that stuff every night. It's no big deal for them. But if you got the type of kid that's cramming always, that's going to work for some kids who are good at that. But at some point, that habit, when put in a place where there's more stress, it's more rigorous, it's more work to do, like high school or college, is going to cause them to backslide, to fail a little bit. And we don't want them to have to do that. So make sure they're reviewing something every night, whether they have homework or not. And if you want, give them the weekend off, but that's up to you. All these are suggestions, family. I'm not trying to be your child's parent. I'm just giving you suggestions. In terms of safety, we're winding down now. First thing I would say is create a secret word or phrase for your child. Anyone that's coming to pick your child up. Now, mind you, you should have the right people on your blue emergency card. But let's say that somehow that system fails. So now the child is calling to the office. This adult is there. Hey, how you doing? And the child says, okay, well, what do you have to tell me? What's the code? They say, code? I don't. Nope, they don't go with them. Straight like that. They don't go with them. If they don't, the code is only between you and the child. You tell the child very strictly they are to tell no one this code. Because you tell people something and they innocently in the conversation, oh yeah, girl, you know what happened? Yeah, so-and-so got this code. Nah, people do that and don't mean to, but some people don't know how to be quiet. They don't know what public information is versus private. So to take it out of their arena, you make sure your child does not share that code or phrase with anyone. And it could be whatever y'all want it to be. But the person coming to pick them up had better be able to say it. If they can't, the child should tell the teacher, I can't go with them. They don't know the special phrase me and my mother or father worked out. So I can't go with them. That may save their life, family. I'm really not being hyperbolic. I'm telling you the truth. That may actually save their life. Number 2, safety tip. Your child is most likely going to see this as invasive. Definitely an invasion of their privacy. And it might be. But parents sometimes have to take certain positions when they live in a world that's so wicked and so deadly and dangerous for kids. We got pedophiles running around here, all types of sexual abuse, all types of stuff. We got human trafficking rings. So we as parents have to be protective. So the safety tip number 2 is use mobile phone tracking software apps that will help you know where your child is at all times. How do you do this? Well, when you buy them the phone, I'm assuming the kid ain't buy their own phone. I'm assuming the kid ain't paying their own phone bill. So whoever bought the phone is paying the phone bill, puts that code in that app. And there's a few of them. I'm not going to name any because I'm not getting paid by, I'm not getting endorsed by any. I don't want to endorse anyone. But if you go to your app store, whatever, on your phone and you look up a tracking app, they have all types of stuff. They have some where you could track everybody in the family. You got 6 kids, you can track all of them. You can kind of see where they are. Again, this might, and the kid is not even aware of it. They get the phone, that's what it is, it's already in there. So family, I'm done. I hope you found this useful. I don't see any questions or comments, so I'm going to sign off. I want to thank you for joining us. And also I want to remind you that this Thursday, family, we're going to have our brother Bernard Creamer, who wrote the book, Who Stole the Soul, The Weaponization of Hip Hop. He's going to be the guest for our 2nd episode of the Harlem Liberation School's Hip Hop 50 series, where we bear witness to the beauty and diversity and power of hip hop. from different perspectives. He'll be on live right here at Harlem Liberation School online, YouTube, at 7 p.m. Eastern this Thursday. Peace out, family. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining us.